Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Oakley Podcast. I'm Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley, and I'm your host for this podcast. And on today's episode, we are talking with Mr. Joe McCullough. He is an owner-operator with Oakley and is actually a return to the podcast. He was on episode 90, so if you want to learn a little bit more about him, go back to episode 90 and check out and talk to Joe. He's going to talk. We're going to discuss some different things with him today because, you know, it's been 2.5 years since he's been on here. And, you know, we're going to talk about just what he's learned since he's been here. We're going to talk about a lot of owner-operators call Joe. He's very humble but very knowledgeable. And we're going to discuss some of that, of how he has actually helped a lot of our owner-operators out there on the road just by answering questions and being a good ear for them, and just a few other things we're going to discuss. It's going to be a great episode. But first, I got my co-host Megan Cummings sitting in with me, and it's been a little while since we've been back together, hasn't it?
I've been picking up your slack.
I don't even know what was the last one we did. Well, I appreciate it too. You did a good job. I saw the one you and Dustin did together.
We did too.
With Damani.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did one with Tony too, didn't you?
Yep.
Good.
We did too.
Yeah, y'all did real good.
Big boots to fill.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
We were getting a lot of phone calls like, did you guys fire Jeremy off the podcast? Or
Well, I think there's been some requests.
Whatever. We gave him a tasteful resignation letter.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good. I like for him to, what they say when the host is not there, he's on assignment somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
yes, it was
very
very
sounds
important
better.
Business.
Sounds better than, hey, Jeremy's not here, I'm doing it today. Okay.
We try to make you sound as good as possible, I promise.
I appreciate it. Everything been going good with you?
Everything's going good. Business as usual.
Yeah, it is. It is busy around Oakley, and we're all staying pretty busy. It's a good time of year, summertime hitting. It's nice.
Job security.
I mean, it is getting after it. You know, I really don't have much of an announcement today. We continue to talk about the 2290s, owner-operator's responsibility. Be sure and if you got questions, give us a call, but it's up to you to get the 2290s done. You know, as far as sharing the podcast, I just can't. I say that every week, I know, but it really, really does help if you will share these the shorts that come out that Annabelle puts out, you know, every week. If you'll actually share that with a friend, people you talk to, that really helps the algorithms, I guess, to, you know, get us more views and get it out there. And like we've always said, I mean, every truck driver needs to be watching or listening to the Oakley Podcast, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 3 million truck drivers, Joe.
There's a lot.
So we need them all listening.
There's a lot of small bits of information on there, too. Not necessarily something that's included in the title, but that episode that we talked about, the 2290s, you know, just little things like that you wouldn't suspect would be in an episode.
That's right.
A used semi-truck is a great way to kick off your career as an owner-operator on a budget, and buying from a reputable dealer like Aero Truck Sales ensures you're getting a reliable truck that fits your needs. They carry trucks from all the major manufacturers in the trucking industry and perform a thorough inspection of every truck on their lot to ensure safety and quality and give you confidence that you're getting a reliable truck that will last you for years at a price that you can afford. Being a longtime partner with Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast, we trust them to provide our owner-operators with a truck that fits their needs and matches our qualifications. So whether you're a first-time owner-operator or just looking for a new-to-you rig, be sure to give Keith Wilson and Trey Visor a call at 573-216-6047 and let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
Joe, how's it going?
Good, Jeremy. Good.
You know, last time you were on, about 2.5 years ago, you had you and your dispatcher, Joey, sitting in here together. And that was a really good episode, by the way. I went back and watched most of it the other day just to refresh my memory on it. And you know, it just listening to you back then was you just get good information from you. I just like talking to you. I like listening to you. And I thought, we need to get him on here again. And, of course, you're telling me this week you're here for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Why are you here 3 days, Joe?
I call it maintenance week. It's basically because it's my anniversary for being at Oakley.
Okay.
I just kind of kept that. That's when I bought the truck new. I bought it new when I started here. So basically, I just figure that once a year I do my overhead, do my Thermo King, do shop, all kinds of stuff, because I don't get down here to Little Rock very much.
Why are you doing? Go ahead.
Sorry. You keep all your maintenance in Little Rock?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Not all of it, but I don't know. I built a rapport here, you know what I mean, with MHC, Tri-State, all the people around here. So it's kind of,
It's difficult for you
feel
to not build
comfortable
that.
because it's not like it used to be. Even up by me. I mean, everybody that I knew up there is gone. It's all
Where's
new.
up there?
Up in Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
Is that? You knew I couldn't say it.
That's why I said it.
That's why I asked. So you would say
Yeah,
it.
no, it's just the days of all the older people being up there that I knew are all gone, and it's hard to find reliable shops out there. Everybody knows that today.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But you
get
found some
comfortable.
around here.
Yeah, I mean, MHC treats me great.
All
you know,
right.
and you get to know everybody, so I know everybody there. I mean, Mike Donnelly, I know Jake,
Yeah.
I know Jamie, all of them. Pat's a good friend of mine, the master tech over there, and surprising. You know,
That is good.
why they even talk to a Yankee, I don't know.
You just make friends everywhere you go, though, don't you?
I don't know, I try.
I mean,
I guess, why hate people?
Absolutely.
Life's too short.
What is your background like?
Well, started out in the business back in '84 in the Seabees Navy, doing construction and heavy equipment. My original background, my dad was a carpenter, so that's kind of what, ever since I was a little kid, I used to go down, he had a shop in the basement, and I used to go down and play with all the tools, and he used to teach me how to use stuff, and I went to high school for carpentry, Votech school, so. But
So you got a little
just-
carpentry in your background.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot actually. So I integrated it with my business. When I had my sand and gravel business, my trucks and my equipment, that would build the roadways. I would buy lots. I started off really small, just hauling for people. But as I built it up, I would buy a lot. My first one was almost where I lived, down the end of my street. I bought 10 acres and just developed 3 lots out of it. And the machines and the trucks did all the work, getting all rid of all the trees and all the gravel and bringing in the dirt and septic system and foundation. And then I had I had a construction company, so I did that too. I
Took off and running a little bit there.
We did it all, and you make more money and you keep it in-house, and I'm kind of a picky guy, so.
Right.
Is there anything you miss about running your own business like that?
Nothing.
Did you say nothing?
Nothing.
At least you're honest.
It got too big, and it became real problems with the family. I was home every day for about 4 or 5 hours, 7 days a week. So I'm home way more now, and I'm over the road for 3 weeks. So
Isn't that funny?
it is funny.
Just
You'd never would have thought
mentally
this would work, but
Unplug
my
and just
wife
be
and I
home.
am home for 7 to usually about 10 days every month.
Nice.
And it's just, life is much better.
What do you do when you are home at that time?
Not much of anything. Work in the yard. My wife still works full time.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she works at a hospital. She's an administrator. so,
Okay.
and she ain't leaving there. She's been there her whole life. She's just hit 40 years. So,
No kidding.
Wow.
yeah.
What's her name?
Cheryl with a C.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
Sounds
Congratulations,
like a great
Cheryl.
lady.
40 years. That's pretty good.
She wants to get 10 more. So
Oh, my gosh.
I got to work at least that long. So.
You do? You're not going to retire and let her keep working?
I said that. She
Yeah.
said it ain't going to happen. So.
You got a couple of grown kids too, don't you? Sons?
3.
3?
Christy's 34. Yeah, because we said 35. Nick is my middle one. He's 30. And then my youngest is 25. So, yeah, they're all grown up.
They all around that area?
Yeah. Well, my 2 boys still live with me. We did that podcast 2.5 years ago, and they still live with me.
I'm
don't
not
know if
touching
they-
that. I'm staying away from that.
I don't listen.
I'm
know.
staying away from that one.
Very successful boys with all kinds of money, and actually 2 of them have been talking lately. I mean, they got more money than the wife and I, and we're doing pretty good.
Right.
But these boys are just, I think they kind of latched on. I taught them business when they were young about money and stuff like that, and how to use it and what to buy and not to get loans, and they got a ton of money.
They took that to
I mean,
heart.
they could retire at 40, honestly. So their goal was kind of like, let's just get life squared away. Let's get the money. They want to buy a house and triple decker and fix it up and just get going down the road, you know.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like really, today's generation's a little different.
To say the least. But now, 2 of those generations are in here. You got in
Yeah.
the room with
Well, I
us,
gotta
so we
be
got to be
careful.
Tell
careful.
us how
Yeah.
you really feel about today's generation, you two.
Well, I don't feel bad. I actually feel like you're way more educated, to be honest with you. We just went out and bulwarked, you know.
Yeah.
Younger generation is smarter. They pay more attention to stuff.
Yeah.
I know my 2 boys, that's what they do. I mean, they told me about Dave Ramsey. If you know Dave Ramsey.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And because I follow the exact same philosophy, but I never heard of the guy before.
Right.
And then my kids said, "You ought to listen to Dave Ramsey." I said, "What do you mean?" And they said,
He ought to listen to you.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I guess the both of us kind of got the same philosophy."
Yep.
So. But we got it the same way, you know.
Yeah.
We both fell on our face really bad when we were young, and we
Learned
the
from
hard
it.
Way, so. But that's how you do it. You know?
You know, I talked about a while ago in the beginning of a lot of people call you. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
You get a lot of guys. You have a lot of friends at Oakley.
Yeah, a lot.
And you've been here 3 years.
It'll be 3 years and 2 weeks. Yeah, at the end of the month.
And you've how have you gotten so many friends here at Oakley?
It started with the class really because we had a great class. We had 7 guys, and we just really hit it off, all of us. Other than one left, they're all here, and we still all communicate.
Wow.
I hear a lot of guys with their classes. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but I don't know. It's a weird mesh, but
That is.
we
It's
just
like
all
a
kind of hit
graduating
each other
class.
and got along, and we stay in contact. And I'm really good friends with 3 of them. I mean, we talk every day. So
Who are they? I don't know who.
Well, Shane Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's I'd say, the closest to me. So
Okay.
We talk a lot.
That's good.
Which would be surprising, a guy, a Cajun from Louisiana, a guy from Boston.
Yeah.
At both ends of the spectrum.
Lawrence, let's see, Milton. We got,
Okay.
I'm going to try to remember all the names. Tim is gone. Now, Brandon I don't know about. He went into pneumatic and we never heard another thing from him. So
Oh,
I don't
really?
even know if he's still here.
Huh.
We haven't seen him. He's the one that,
Not sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I mean,
I
3
don't
years
know
ago. But
Brandon's last name. But
so they all. I get the sense that they all look up to you. Ask you for advice. Ask you for
yeah.
trailer tips, maintenance tips,
Yeah.
how to fix something. Where am I going? How do I get in this place? What kind
Most of them were
what is it?
experienced. My friends in that class, they just did different things. Like Milton came over in pneumatic. I
Milton
trained him to go into end out.
Mm.
We compared. He was the first guy I trained. I think I was only here 5, maybe, I can't remember, but maybe 5 months or so.
Wow.
And we just kept talking about money. And so, we all talk about
Yeah.
everything, but we're comparing. And he saw, wow, you're doing pretty good in end dump. And I said, well, it depends on what you like. And every division's
Yeah.
for someone else. You guys know that. And for anybody that doesn't know it, every division it's not just about money. It's your personality.
Mm.
So he had more of a personality of go, 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 go. And that's end dump. So
Yeah.
pneumatic is a little, you got to have much more patience because you can really mess that up. So
Speaking of people calling you, I had somebody that was going up to Canada the other day. It was just last week. And he said, I can't get my address to show up the right way. Or he was talking about scaling or something like that. It was something with a specific load. And he said, is there somebody that's already crossed that I can talk to? And I had just talked to you the day before. And I was like, oh, absolutely. It's funny that you should ask. And I gave him your information, and I was like, hey, Joe's been here for years, and he's an old pro at this. And I got off the phone, and I was like, Joe's only been here for going on 3 years. And it just feels like you've been here forever in the best way.
yeah,
But, yeah, always.
like an old tree stump. I get it. I get it.
That's a good thing. It's so nice to be able to be like, I know exactly who you need to talk to, and you're very friendly, always willing to help. So I never, ever question that.
Yeah. Well, he gives good advice. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can trust what he's saying.
Just try to be honest. I mean, everybody needs to. We all need to help each other. We had talked a little bit about that downstairs. I mean, the world is too full of me, and I got to get ahead of the next guy. If we all just, for us guys, I mean, I'm 57. I'm not old. There's plenty of guys here way older than me.
Yeah.
But if we all just helped each other out once in a while, help these younger guys. Too many people complain about the young guys, but maybe if you just speak up and help them. Because most of them are all willing to learn. They just need somebody to teach them. That's all. So if you just help them and become friendly with them.
Well, and that's me and you were talking about our training program here.
Yeah.
Training program. Use that word very lightly because it's not. We're not very good at it. I mean, we actually we rely on you as owner operators to train guys coming in. I mean, we can do all we can here, you know, through orientation out here on the yard, but it's not the real deal for when you start going to work and start going into these places and trying to load and trying to unload and get your weights right and all that. And it takes somebody that wants to train you. That's the first thing we need to clarify. And that's, me and Joe were talking about this earlier. We said, look, if owner-operator, one of Oakley owner-operators, if you don't want to train somebody, please tell us you don't want to train somebody, because it makes it, you know, let's get somebody that wants to do it, because I think there's some of them out there that, you know, don't really want to do it. And then there's some like you that want to do it. They want to help people.
Enjoy.
When did you say that you trained your first? You said you were here for 5 months?
I don't even think I think it was before the first podcast. You have to ask Milton on that one. I don't remember. But it was around the 6-month mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from there. So Milton came from pneumatic. And then Shane, who's in kind of the same group, because he's from Louisiana too. Milton's from New Orleans. Shane's from Southern Louisiana. Shane started going, why'd he switch over? And Shane and I talking about money, and he's like, well, maybe I'll switch over too. And he was in Hopper, and it just started stemming. He came over, and then we're talking to Lawrence, and Lawrence is like, why are you guys all going to Endom? It's like, because we're making more money. And next thing you know, Lawrence is switching over, and it just stems. And
now we have found the mold.
oh God, here I just gave myself up.
We've all been wondering, why are these guys going to the Endom?
You can talk to the Crisco boys, because they'll give me a high five.
Yeah.
But, yeah, pneumatic and Hopper, I hope I never have to go over to either division, because they don't really like me very much.
No, they don't. Once they listen to this podcast, they're sure not going to like you. Because I think we found our man who's getting them to swap
listen, all
over.
divisions are great. Everybody has their place. It's just a matter of what fits you.
Yeah.
What fits you
and that's
as a
good
personality.
And if that's what fits those guys, that's where we want them to be.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about having 3 different divisions. You know, you find what you like, find one that suits you. If not, guess what? We got another one.
Yep. That's the biggest thing, bringing people in, talking to them here on the podcast.
Yeah.
We've had hoppers and everybody, pneumatics. And it seems like when somebody finds a place, you know, we'll ask, are you happy? Or, you know, do you think you'd ever switch back? It's like, nope, happy where I am. It's like they find it and they stay.
No doubt.
What kind of truck you operate?
Same truck I had when I got here. So it's just about 3 years old. 2022 Kenworth T680.
How many miles you got on it?
Oh boy, I think she's at about 367 right now.
What are you going to?
That's all Oakley. So.
What do you? How long are you going to keep it? Are you one of those buy a new truck every few years?
I really thought I was going to buy a new one in 4 or 5 years, but to be honest with you, Jeremy, the prices today.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to just keep her going, I think. And I only got 4 or 5 years left.
Right.
So,
Nonsense.
I think I'm gonna run it out.
Yeah,
It's still not guaranteed.
I'd say at least 10, 15.
Yeah.
One thing you learn,
just said
Megan,
10.
never say never on it.
Exactly.
Just leave it open. So, I don't know.
So you've recruited. Speaking of friends, you've recruited. I know you've recruited at least one driver.
I recruited one from the road, Prentice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and that was weird because, I don't do videos or anything. Some of my friends tell me. All those guys that do the podcast, I'm friends with all of them. So Tanner and I don't know Paperboy. I never met him.
Okay.
Or Rob either. Rob's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
But Tanner and Jimmy. So I know them really well.
Good.
And some people have said to me, you should do some podcasts, and I don't have time.
Busy
And
man.
keeps us too busy.
Yeah. I don't see how they do. They put a lot into it. They really do.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm sure Annabelle, it ain't easy here with what she's got to do. There's a lot of stuff to do.
We were talking about it this morning, me and Corey, we really need somebody to on the hopper division to do it. Because Rob, he about quit.
Did he?
Doing it. Yeah, he don't do much anymore, and we really need somebody on the hopper division. That helps tremendously.
Yeah.
Get one of
It
those
really
younger
does.
guys. Didn't you? You just had one on, didn't you? Or was it last week? Who was that guy you had on? He's Hopper, the young guy.
Oh, Damani.
Yeah.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, get someone like that. He seemed pretty.
He's very well
pretty
spoken
uppity.
too. He's
We
a
need
nice
somebody
guy.
to start that, but I mean,
Give him a little incentive.
Yeah.
He'll make some good money.
well, and that's what we were talking about because these guys are making a lot on recruiting bonuses.
Yeah, they are.
They're making a lot
I'd
of
like
money.
to see Jimmy's. You know,
Oh,
I don't think he tells me the
no,
truth.
no, probably not. He's doing well on recruiting bonuses. Yeah, but he's good. That's because he's really authentic.
good
He's
at what he
truthful.
does.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He really is. So
What about Steve? I thought you recruited Steve, didn't you?
No, well, Steve was recorded by Jimmy.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's a long story.
Yeah, we
he
talked
knows,
about
but
that earlier.
basically, Steve's from New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wanted to control it. Steve, just so you know, if you listen to this, I didn't want him to come on because I had the record as the furthest away, and now he is. So he took it
darn
away from me. But, no, I just, Jimmy said, you speak Boston, and Steve speaks Boston bad.
That's what I was
we
about
both
to say.
grew up like 2 towns away. So.
Yeah. I couldn't, if I didn't have caller ID some days, I wouldn't be able to tell you two apart.
So me and Jimmy went into pneumatic, and I'm in end dump, and Steve wanted to go into end dump. He says, "Let's hook you guys up," and we talked for a while, and then you got involved, and
yeah,
here he is.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've helped out a lot of guys with. People will call me out of the blue from either Jimmy or Tanner, and I'll help guys out. You know.
like what? Give us some examples.
Sometimes it's just customers. Sometimes it's like I get a lot in the wintertime. You'd be surprised because they know I'm a northern guy and I've been in the winter with end dump my whole life. So they're all like, what do I do for this? What product? Frozen? What about driving? You'd be amazed how many guys have never seen ice in their life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never been in it.
And
How do I
don't-
drive
and don't
in
wanna
it?
be
What do
in
I
it.
do?
yeah.
You know, so.
That's
But
a lot of wheels.
The array and the list is long. End dump, you know, I mean, there's so many things that, like you say, I think Oakley does a great job in training. I mean, you learn a lot. I mean, for me, I knew end dump well. Randolph made me train my class, so I guess I know it pretty good.
Yeah, you did. Good.
But I found it interesting. There was a lot of good stuff in that,
Yeah.
and but still, it's like anything. If somebody teaches you, it doesn't matter what it is in life. They can teach and show it to you a couple of times and put it in a book, but when you got to do it in real life under pressure, that's a different story.
Yeah.
So it's just focus and
Well, and you know, being an owner operator is not easy.
no.
I mean, it's more than just driving a truck, isn't it?
You're your own boss. So if you don't get up in the morning, you know, your boss can yell at you, your boss can fire you, can get written up. But if you don't get up in the morning, your family doesn't eat. So, and that truck is very expensive to run. So you can do really well. A place like this, I mean, we do great.
You just got to
This is
know.
awesome.
You just got to know, maintenance,
You don't have to. Like,
how to fix a few things.
I
maybe.
get new guys that ask me that. I got 2 new guys right now that one might be coming on. He'll actually be my second one I brought on.
Okay.
Ran into him on the road just like Prentice. But Craig, I don't know if you've talked to him yet, but he's been dealing with Dustin, so I sent him to Dustin.
Okay.
He'll be coming on.
He asked you a lot of those questions already.
Yeah, he's 3.5 years with Maverick and
So
never
he's-
been an owner operator.
okay.
He never drove before Maverick.
So what kind of advice are you giving him?
Well, he's scared, like a lot of people are. He's an older guy. He was in financial for a long time. Smart man. But
Yeah.
a little scared about just jumping out there and buying a truck and what is this like? I don't know anything about anything. I just
Yeah.
work for Maverick. I do my job. I say it's the same thing. It's no different. You're still the captain of the ship.
Right.
Even if you have a company, you're still driving the truck. Do I tell people, do you have to be mechanically inclined? I am, because I've been doing that my whole life, but you don't have to be. You can pay for it. It's going to get pricey. I suggest to a lot of people that you start learning a little bit. Is it a requirement? No. But you're going to have to pay for it, and everything out there is expensive. So
It just benefits you, maybe save you some money.
way benefit you if you can
Yeah.
do it
Are those
yourself.
things that you just, I know that you grew up with it and you've been doing it for a long time, but say this guy that you're bringing on,
Yep.
is that something that he can just expect to learn along the way if he's not mechanically inclined?
Well, I mean, he
or-
knows what to do, what a truck driver is supposed to do. He knows how to do a pre-trip. He knows how to be safe. He knows what he's supposed to check. But if
Right.
something's not right or broken or something goes wrong, that's when they they end like, I don't know what to do now. You know, my engine light pops on. Well,
Oh, that's
haven't
scary.
we all heard that
Yeah.
100,000 times? There's a couple of options depending on your truck, but like me, I have a computer. I can look it up. So I can look up my codes. And it's not a cheap one, it's an expensive one. But I have insight with Cummings, so I'm able to get in there and really dig in deep like the mechanics do. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I can figure out what's going on. Usually figure it out myself. For the most
Is there any of those little things like that, like just things that you wouldn't expect you'd need, just extracurricular items that, you know, aren't necessarily a part of a regular day's checklist that you think have really came in handy?
Like tools, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have in your truck?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to
That'll
tell
help
what,
you be an owner
I got
operator.
in my bobtail weight yesterday. I ain't going to tell you what it is because
Oh,
Oakley
God.
wouldn't be happy.
Oh, no.
But I get my 23 ton on.
Oh,
so I
gosh.
do a good job at that. I get my 23 ton on legally. I'm right there. But I get my 23 ton on. I wish I had way more stuff. I mean, my garage, I had 2 huge garages at home with my business, truck garages, you know, and I have so many tools, and I only have a tiny portion. But as most of the guys here that see this that have been here a long time and driving, and they're veterans, you take all the emergency tools, things that I have to have.
Like?
All we really need is duct tape and zip
Duct
ties.
tape and a dream.
Yeah,
Duct tape,
Dream.
zip ties.
a dream. We're all set.
Yeah. Well,
No,
and
I have
a lot of
socket
first-time
sets.
owner operators, you know, they want to know that. Like,
Yeah.
man, what do I need to? What do I think I need? Now they probably got an idea because
A
they've
lot
been
of
driving a
basic
truck.
tools,
But
pliers, vice grips, a hammer. Hammer very important. You know, a lot of things like that. Basic tools. You don't have to spend a lot of money and get real
Okay.
fancy stuff. I wouldn't get a computer unless you had the money for it, because those can be $2,000 to $5,000 in subscriptions and
yeah,
you know. But that one tow you get, that can be. I'm
That's
sure you've
true.
heard prices.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, upwards of $5,000. So that computer pays for itself the first time. So.
and that's a computer program you have, I guess.
Yeah, I
and
have actual laptop and I have Cummins software in it. So because of my motor, it's
You have to
Cummins.
pay for that, I guess.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
Insight. So I'm able to look up anything that Cummins can look up, any dealership can look up. I can look it all up, and I have all other programs in the laptop. So I have like Bendix, I have the PACCAR for the truck, and they're all separate. You know.
I'm starting to see why all these people call you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You don't happen to have that computer on you, do you?
I do. It's in
My
truck.
engine light just came on. Can you take a look?
Oh, cars I can't do. Now there is a tool for that for cars. Trucks don't crisscross, and car ones don't.
LubeZone has been servicing single trucks and truck fleets for more than 20 years across 12 locations nationwide. LubeZone specializes in quick, full-service oil changes that take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. They also offer tractor-trailer grease, gearbox service, generator service, reefer service, and DOT inspections. They aim to go the extra mile when it comes to quality control. This means your tractor is checked not only once, but 2 times to ensure all service and parts meet their guaranteed quality and standards. No other service center knows semi-trucks better than LubeZone. If your truck needs serviced, check out lubezone.com to find all of their locations, and when you stop by, let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
You know, with all these owner operators calling you, do you do a little bit of retention?
Yeah, I've had a few.
Give me
We're
some
ready to
examples.
jump ship.
Give me some examples.
I won't give you names.
That's
but,
okay. Yeah, you don't give me names, but give me.
Yeah, I had a few guys call up and very upset, either dispatching or they felt that they weren't making enough money or whatever the case might be. And I might sound like a nice guy and I think I can help anybody, but people usually thank me afterwards, but they're not so helpful in the beginning because once I kind of poke into them and figure out what they're doing wrong, a lot of times I have to tell them to look in the mirror.
How do they take that?
Usually when I build it up well enough, they're prepared for it because I tell them how I am, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to get honesty and you might not like it.
Yeah.
Are you prepared for that? And I usually ask them that question. I'm not cold-hearted. I mean,
Well,
I'm tough old school.
So-
I really am, but I was brought up that way. I think I told you earlier, the old-timers. Why do I give back? Because hundreds of old-timers gave back to me when I was a kid. Those guys that used to beat me upside the head and give me a hard time when I was a young kid, yeah, I used to think they were picking on you, but man, they taught me everything I know. I didn't learn it on my own. I learned it from them. So
Yeah.
it's our job to
When did you realize that?
pretty early in life because I worked for all old timers, you know, and
And then it just finally clicked. Well,
I was good for abuse because I was in the military, so I just took a lot of abuse, and I just sucked it up and did what I did. My dad used to tell me all the time, just suck it up and get through it.
Those old timers are.
You're going to learn something from all of it. So.
Isn't it amazing how they teach, how they taught back then? I mean,
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't messing around.
You know, speaking of that, we're seeing a lot of the old timers kind of move out. What do you think?
It's turning.
What do you think the future looks like with the younger drivers? We've got a lot of
If we
drivers
help these guys, then they'll be just like us, and they'll probably be better for it because it's our job to pass it on.
Yeah.
Anybody that believes, and I mean this, that they shouldn't, they're afraid they're going to. That was the one thing when I was young, that a lot of old timers, well, we've talked about this before, but there was 40 drivers or 50 drivers for every seat. If you were going to survive back in the 80s and 90s, man, let's face it, you had to be the best, or you're going to get trampled. If you so much as did one thing wrong, you were fired, and there was 29, 30 guys behind you taking your job from you. So it really pushed you back then to be better, because if you didn't, you just simply weren't working, you know. And what's changed today is it's completely opposite, as we know. There's not enough drivers for all the seats that are available. So it's our job to try to help these guys and teach them to be really good at what you do.
But what if they don't want to be helped? You run into any of those?
I do. Well, I can't say I've ever had anybody that
I really don't.
said
There's
no.
Yeah, I really don't think there's. I mean, I don't get that feeling.
Not here at Oakley. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't get that feeling either from the guys coming through orientation. I mean, most of them, you know, they feel like they act like they want help.
Yeah.
They're usually
You know?
starving for information. When I get a phone call. Now, when you gave me that, when Craig called me the other day, actually that was Steve, sorry, I'm thinking of Craig is the other guy that's coming on. But when Steve called me from the Canada, and I helped him get into Canada and get up to that place, and it just stemmed off from there. And we've been talking every day. I mean, it just, I need help, and this and that, and it just, they realize if you'll listen. Guys, if you'll just help everybody. The old timers didn't want to learn because they were afraid they were going to lose their job. The young guys were going to take it from them. Nobody's taking your job, man. Help them.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be old in the wheelchair, and they're going to decide whether they push us down the stairs or help us.
That's right.
Help out.
Yeah.
It's a Christian thing to do. Just help out. That's what we're here all for.
What's probably some of the biggest challenges an owner-operator faces now? You know, I know back then they were different, but now, I mean,
I think it's just costs. You know, we don't make the money we made way back, but we make really good money. And there's no reason anybody. I've told everyone that's come over here that asked me those questions is like, how hard do I have to work to make it? I said, you just got to get up in the morning and work. The Oakley's not, there's nothing special here, man. You'll get paid. You'll make the money. Just get up and go to work. A little self-discipline.
Yep.
That's all.
That goes back to having your own company, you know, being an owner-operator.
What I was telling you. That's probably the hardest challenge, because some people think that, I will tell you, I've heard this when we were talking about talking people off the bridge, and one of them that I had a real problem with, he was going to quit. He didn't. He's still here. Doing well, by the way.
Good.
Was basically wanting to blame everything on the company. You know? My dispatcher, their demands, my miles. And I started writing things down. I actually had to pull over. I was talking to him on my headset, and I had to pull over. I got a rest area, and I started writing it down. And I kept asking him the same questions, and he's telling me all this stuff. And I said, now, you want to go over this list you just gave me? List? What do you mean? And I started telling him. So you look in the mirror. This is all you, brother. Why does your dispatcher treat you like he does? Because you treat him like a piece of dirt. You think he's here to work for you.
Yeah.
He ain't here to work for you. He's trying to make a living for his family just like you're trying to for yours. People put too much into a company or anything else. You can't expect anything. Just look within. It's you. What you portray is what you get. I'm pretty damn successful, and I think the reason why is because I'm not special. I am nobody special. I just care and try to do the job.
But you treat other people special.
Treat them
and that goes a long ways, which is obvious.
And if everybody just did the same. We
Yeah.
got so many good guys here, but
Oh, yeah.
there's every once in a while, there's those people that have maybe just gone down the wrong road. They went work for a bad company, and I mean,
I know.
some guys will go work for 3 or 4 fleets, and they've been abused to the end of the earth, and they come here and they think it's just even though I'm an owner operator, I'm just going to get abused again, and that ain't going to happen here.
And I tell them, wipe your slate clean.
Start over.
You're starting clean at Oakley.
Yep.
Everything in your past from other jobs that's done you wrong, what you've got in your, don't bring that over here. Do not bring that over here, because we're starting clean, and it helps. I really think it does, because I mean it, and they think about it and go, yeah, all right, we don't need to bring the baggage with us, and have a bad deal. This company's going to be the same as the rest of the companies I've been with, and that's not the case. And some people, it takes a little longer to convince than others, but I always tell them, the quicker you buy into the program, the quicker you're going to be successful here.
Yeah.
Being brought up in the military, I kind of refer to this when I tell people, especially younger people, when they talk about, I'll tell people say I have a tattoo on my butt, and it's the same as the one I have on my shirt. I say, that's good, but all I know to you is I've only been most of my life in business for myself, and I still am.
Yep.
I wear the shirt because I'm proud of who I work for, and they treat me really well. I don't have to kiss their butt. I go out here every day and I work hard. I find somebody that can work harder than me. I'd like to see it. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying that I put everything on myself, and I blame myself. If I have a bad week, it was because of me. It wasn't because of my dispatcher. Have we had a little bit of a rough time in the last year? Of course we have.
Yeah.
So is everybody in the whole country.
Really? I mean,
There's nothing we can do about
right.
that. But what we can do is Oakley will keep you running. They'll give us the miles. I mean, it's not what we were, guys, but we'll get back there. And we just plug along, and we're doing fine. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
We're not losing money. We're making money. So.
We're blessed to be at a great company.
Yes.
We are.
And
It's
have a
good
lot of
company,
good
and you're not
customers.
gonna- I just personally don't think you're going to find anything better.
Yeah.
And that's my whole life. This is great.
And I'm going to tell you, those dispatchers out there, those operation managers, you talking about working now.
They work
Hard workers. My
Yeah.
dispatcher, Garrett,
Work.
he's a quiet kid. But I'll tell you, he's a hard worker.
Oh,
that
yeah.
kid, he doesn't believe in home time. It's work.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
He'll never leave one of us hanging. So
How did you, I guess, off the wall question, how did you get to know Bruce Mallinson?
Oh, yeah.
Bruce with
We were-
Pittsburgh Power. We
Yeah.
talked to him
Yeah.
So
at the truck
Pittsburgh
show.
Power,
And me
there's
and
a
Joe were
long
talking
history there. When I was really young, I think I had just gotten out of boot camp, literally in the CBs, and got into the trucking because that's what I was an EO, equipment operator, which is trucking and equipment. So one of the old timers handed me a magazine, and Bruce was in it, and I read the article, and I kind of got hooked, and then I got a subscription to the magazine, and I just got hooked reading him every month, and I'm like, this guy's knowledgeable. And I grew up as a young kid, like everybody has different hobbies. Mine was tearing motors apart and trying to figure things out. I'm just I don't know, like whatever you want to call it, a motor junkie.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but I just love messing with stuff. And Bruce was fascinated me, like his knowledge, his passion. You both talked to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could, as
Bruce
soon as
is
he
70
opens his
what
mouth.
Yeah, 75. I don't remember. He just
75.
oozes with
He's up
passion.
there.
Yeah.
And Bruce he's still like a kid. I mean, he water skis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a kid.
Yeah, he's very.
He's
Did you call him one day just out of the blue? You just.
Well, I used to read the articles, and I never did anything. I just thought he was some big movie star, you know what I mean? Like anything. And read the articles for years. And then when radio started developing in the trucking industry, and he got on to Road Dogg and Dave Nemo,
That's right.
and all this started popping up, and I started listening to him then. And then one day I just said, I got to call this guy. And I'm thinking like he wouldn't even take my call. I called the office, and Kathy, she's the secretary in there, even to now. And Kathy's like, oh, yep, hold on a minute. I'll get you right to Bruce. I'm like, really? Talk to this guy? And that was it. He says, where are you from? I said, Halifax. He's, where's that? I said, it's right close to Cape Cod. Oh, then he went off. You know, Bruce.
Yeah.
I think we talked for like 2 hours the first time. And it just was two people that are passionate about trucks.
Yeah. Boy, he sure is, for sure.
Yeah.
He lives and breathes trucks.
You talk about just thinking he was a movie star. It's even kind of like that in person. And then you just talk to him, and he's just so down to earth.
He does 2 radio shows.
You see his eyes light up whenever he talks about
trucks. He does 2 radio shows a week, and they're nationally, I mean, he still does his articles in the magazines. I don't know if anybody even reads magazines. He still does them.
Well, he's got a great product, too, from what it seems like.
Yes, he does. He's got some great products. Like I said,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Bruce, and we've talked many times, and I haven't talked to him in a while. It's been a while.
Well, he recognizes your name because I asked him
Cape
about
Cod Joe, he calls me.
Yeah.
So, because he just relates me to Cape Cod. He had like I said, first half hour of our conversation was nothing about Cape. It was all about what he did down Cape Cod when he was down there, the beach and the skiing and the swimming and all that. So
having a nickname from Bruce is a pretty big deal. I'd say so.
Bruce likes to name everybody, and it's usually region. And has something really memorable. I guess they say that's how geniuses do it, right? They find that one thing that I see this guy and something clicked, and
make up their own name.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up, what's the future look like for Joe McCullough?
I mean, we're gonna retire.
You think about it much?
No, I don't. We're going to retire, the wife and I. It's just a question of, she's going to put in 10 more years, so,
So we've got at least 10 more years with you is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's all going to be on the road, but.
Of course it will.
I love working here. I mean, it's going to be hard when I have to leave, but I'll be here at least 5 more years anyway. I'll be here till, I already set a date of 2030.
Have you?
Yeah, January 1st, I won't be here.
That's good to have a date.
It's probably wrong because I never say no to anything. You'll probably let's have a podcast.
Let's get him back in here.
When I say I'm going to be here for another 10 years. That's why you never say never.
That's right.
Never say no.
That's right.
I have no. We enjoy our time together, my wife and I. And probably
any future projects at the house? Any?
Won't just keep her maintained. I love my yard work. I got a big yard.
Not moving, not buying a new house, nothing like that.
Nope.
You're not going to escape to
the
beach?
Not traveling.
The house is too big. I'm sure you're running onto that now, right?
Yeah.
The house is too big for if the boys ever go, they will. They're going to go soon, but it's too big.
Downsize a little bit.
So it's too big for that. But it's going to be hard. My wife is everybody's a little different. I'm a roamer, being a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
She's a homebody. Mm-hmm. She loves her house. That's her thing. So
it's going to take a lot of adjusting. How many years have you been on the road? Just total?
Total? Well, 3 at Oakley and probably about 3.5 in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
So about 6.5.
Okay.
The rest of it's all been my business at home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have all that free time. You can travel.
Well, that's what I mean. There's still plenty. That's why I say never. There's no. I mean, I love working here. I don't plan on going anywhere.
Well, we love having you working here.
Yeah.
It's really good to talk to you. It's good to catch up with you. Yeah. It's good to hear. I mean, some of the things that you've talked about today, I don't think anybody's really touched on some stuff, whether it's mentoring a lot of other drivers here, some of the questions that they're having. I mean, it really opened my eyes, too, to understand the camaraderie that happens out there as truck drivers, as owner-operators at Oakley, and how much you guys care about each other. Mm-hmm. And you just got to find that, I always tell people in orientation, if you don't have someone supporting you, then you call me. I'm going to support you. Yeah. I want you to be successful here. And if you get around a bunch of naysayers that are negative, get out of there. Get out of there and call me, and I'll be glad to help you.
And that's just not trucking. That's life.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to surround yourself with negative people because that's what you're going to turn into. Mm-hmm. So be positive. Turn into people that want to help you and be friends with you and lift you up and move on. I do have to say one thing, though.
What?
For my friends in South and North Carolina, they call me the Godfather, okay? Whatever. That's just being funny. But they know that my area is north of the Mason-Dixon, so you guys just got to stay out of there and head back down to where you belong. They didn't think I had the guts to say it. Hopefully Annabelle doesn't cut it. But.
Oh, no. We may start out with that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that we play. Oh, man. Well, great stuff, Joe. I appreciate you coming up here and taking the time to visit with me and Megan, and it's really
Thanks
good.
for having me.
Always good to talk to you, man.
Yes.
Catch up with you. Always good. So, Megan, thanks. Appreciate your input. And
No problem. I heard Joe McCullough, and I said, I'm in.
easy. Yeah. You knew it was going to be an easy one then.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening to the Oakley Podcast. We appreciate you at this camera. Sorry. We appreciate everybody listening to us, watching us on YouTube, sharing the stuff with everybody. Appreciate all your input. Let us know what you want to hear. Some content that you think would be good to put out there, and anything to help you be successful as an owner-operator, we'd be glad to do it. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.